You're listening to CJSF 90.1 FM online at www.cjsf.ca, broadcasting from Burnaby, British Columbia at Simon Fraser University. This is KPW with This Week in BC Minor League Sports, and during this half-hour show today, we'll recap Week 20 of the BC Major Midget League, which is a league for 15 to 17-year-olds playing competitive hockey in the province of British Columbia. Now, I should mention that we don't do any Major League sports in this program because this is a community radio station, and also because there's plenty of minor league sports or junior sports locally for you to check out, for instance, minor hockey, especially if you're in the lower mainland. And what I'm going to be focusing here on this program today, because it is hockey season right now, is the BC Major Midget League with only 2 more weeks remaining in the regular season. And and then the playoffs will begin in March. So it's crunch time with everybody battling for playoff positioning and home ice advantage. The top 8 teams out of the 11-team league make the playoffs, and there are a few more intriguing races developing down the stretch. So I'm gonna recap last weekend's BC Major Midget League action, week number 20, right here on CJSF Radio. Now, just some background information about the BC Major Midget League. It was established in 2004 to provide elite level 15, 16, and 17-year-old players an opportunity to play within their own age group at a high level. Now, this league also helps to develop these young players as they prepare for junior hockey leagues and beyond. And with the BC Major Midget League, there are games being held every weekend, either here in the Lower Mainland in Burnaby, Langley, Richmond, or Coquitlam, or out of town in places such as Prince George, Kelowna, Nanaimo, Castlegar, Chase, Victoria, Port Alberni, and so on. And all of these games are free to attend, so it's good to check out this league if you're interested in some good minor hockey action. And oftentimes you don't hear much about these leagues, so it's nice to be able to talk about them, about the BC Major Midget League here on our sports program on CJSF 90.1 FM. And as mentioned before, NHL players such as Evander Kane, Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, Brandon Gallagher, all of these guys have played in this league in their teens. And in 2010, for instance, there were 16 former BC Major Midget League players who got drafted by NHL teams, including Gallagher, and there were 10 former players from the BC Major Midget League drafted in 2013 by National Hockey League teams. So you could be watching future NHL stars if you come out and take in some of these games in the BC Major Midget League. Now, I'm just going to go over the BC Major Midget League scoreboard right now, as 10 of the 11 teams were in action last weekend, with only the South Island Royals idle. Now, with the game action, let's start off with the visiting Valley West Hawks taking on the Vancouver Northeast Chiefs on Saturday, on Saturday, February the 15th at the Planet Ice rink in Coquitlam. And this matchup would be the third place Hawks against a Chiefs team that's tied for 4th place. Now, going in, the Hawks had a 10-point lead over the Chiefs for 3rd place with a record of 23 wins, 11 losses, and 2 ties. The Vancouver Northeast Chiefs had a record of 17 wins, 13 losses, and 4 ties. So a couple of good teams and a matchup of 2 of the better teams in the league. Now, the Valley West Hawks dominated this game on Saturday, firing tons of shots at poor Chiefs goaltender Jacob Severson, who fortunately brought his A game to the rink on this night. The game was scoreless until the 12:33 mark of the first period, when 6-foot, 170-pound Ty Westgard scored his 9th goal of the season, putting Valley West ahead 1-0. Now, late in the period, the Chiefs were on the power play, but it was the Hawks that had possession of the puck, and Davis Koch scored shorthanded to put Valley West ahead 2-0. Now, for the 6-foot, 150-pound Koch, it was his 14th goal of the season. Early in the second period, the Chiefs were on another power play, and this time they capitalized with 5-foot, 10-inch, 165-pound Caleb Fantillo scoring his 16th goal of the year at 4:46. That made the score Valley West 2, Vancouver Northeast 1. But just 2 minutes later, 5-foot, 11-inch, 180-pound Matt Bradley scored for the Hawks on a breakaway, his 33rd goal of the season in 34 games. Now, for the rest of the game, the third-place Hawks had plenty of scoring opportunities to put this game away, but Jacob Severson, the Chiefs goaltender, kept the puck out of the net, keeping Vancouver Northeast in the game at 3-1. The Chiefs did manage to get some shots on Valley West goaltender Cole Forbes, but the 6'2", 170-pound goalie from Cloverdale also shut the door in the third period. Forbes wound up making 28 saves on the night for Valley West. Final score, the Hawks 3, the Chiefs 1. Cole Forbes, the Hawks goaltender, improved his record to 13 wins, 6 losses, and 2 ties. And Valley West also improved its record to 24 wins, 11 losses, and 2 ties as well. Now, the Chiefs, meanwhile, fell to 17, 14, and 4. And with the win, Valley West clinched third place in the league because nobody is going to be able to catch them at this point. So congratulations to the Valley West Hawks for claiming third spot in the BC Major Midget League. Now, I caught up with Hawks head coach Tom Spencer after the game on Saturday.
Well, with Tom Spencer, head coach of the Valley West Hawks, congratulations on the win tonight. Thoughts on the game?
Thank you. Yeah, it was tough, 3-1. Not much room for error. Kind of a predictable game when they're hungry to stay alive or try to clinch fourth spot, where our guys want to just play well, get ready for the playoffs. So it was kind of a see-off battle. It was good.
You've won 5 of the last 6 and 7 of the last 9. So how important is it to head into the playoffs on a roll?
It's always important. We have a bye week next week, and then we head into Nanaimo to finish the season and get ready for playoffs. So for us, it's about hitting our stride and getting ready to go and making sure that we're executing on the highest level possible.
I believe with the win tonight, you actually clinched top 3 in the league. So congratulations on that, and good luck again tomorrow against the Chiefs.
Thank you very much.
And then the same 2 teams were back at it on Sunday afternoon, and this time at the Langley Sportsplex. On Sunday, the Hawks again dominated, but it was tight in the opening period. In fact, the game was scoreless until the final minute of play in period number 1, when Matt Bradley scored on a power play with 1:07 remaining, putting Valley West ahead 1-0. So it was 1-0 after 20 minutes, but things would change in a hurry when the 2 teams returned to the ice after the first intermission. Because just 52 seconds into the second period, Valley West defenseman Jamison Ree, scored his 4th goal of the season, putting the Hawks ahead 2-0. So that would be Jamison Ree scoring for the Hawks. Eric Caligari got his 13th goal of the season midway through the second period as well, and it was 3-0 for Valley West. The Chiefs finally got on the scoreboard with 6:53 remaining in the second period, with 6', 165-pound Brody Crawford getting his 7th goal of the year, and it was 3-1. But the Hawks wouldn't let up, with Jamison Ree getting his 2nd of the period 2.5 minutes later, making the score 4-1. And the Hawks added to their lead when Jordan Funk scored with only 51 seconds remaining in the period. It was 5-1 for Valley West after 40 minutes. The third period was all Valley West as well, as the Hawks exploded for 4 more goals. Matt Bradley scored his 2nd of the game in the final period, getting his 35th goal in 35 games, and it came with the Hawks playing 2 men short. That was when the Hawks had 2 players in a penalty box, and the Chiefs had a 5-on-3 power play. It was that kind of afternoon for the Chiefs. They did manage another goal on Caleb Fantil's 17th of the season, but that wasn't nearly enough. Final score on Sunday, Valley West 9, Vancouver Northeast 2. So the Hawks swept their weekend series, and now they get a bye week this weekend. And I caught up with Cole Forbes, the Hawks goaltender, following Sunday's game.
Cole Forbes, goaltender of the Valley West Hawks. Congratulations on the weekend sweep. Thoughts on the team's play?
I think we're really gelling as a team right now, and just everyone's going. So good things happening.
Awesome. And for yourself, big effort last night, and again, another great effort in goal today. Thoughts about your own play?
I thought I was really focused this weekend. The other guys hurt, so I had to step up big, get these 2 wins for the guys.
Now you guys are on a hot streak. I think you guys have won 6 out of your last 7, and 8 out of your last 10. So how important is it for you guys to keep playing well as you head into the playoffs?
Yeah, we got to keep the momentum going here, so we can just easy first round, and then be prepared for the harder teams as they come.
Now you have a bye week coming up next weekend. So what will you be doing?
Probably just resting up, getting ready for the final weekend of the year.
Awesome. And finally, Cole, would you like to say hi to anyone out there?
Hi to my family and all the boys on the team.
All right. Again, congratulations on the win, Cole. Good luck the rest of the season.
Thank you.
Now here's Hawks forward Matt Bradley with 3 goals on the weekend.
We're with Matt Bradley, forward of the Valley West Hawks. Congratulations on a 9-2 win today over the Chiefs. Thoughts on the game?
It was a real team effort. Just everyone was going and contributing, so it was real fun up there.
2 goals for you today and 1 yesterday, so big series for you. And you even scored when you guys were down 5-3 late in the game. Thoughts about that?
Just a lucky play, kind of. The D-man went down and just kind of toe dragged them and put it in.
And thoughts about your own season so far?
It's been good. We've had our ups and downs, a lot of injuries and stuff, but I think we're ramping it up now for the playoffs, so we're going to be ready to go.
Awesome. Now tell us a bit more about yourself, Matt. Who's your favorite NHL player?
Probably Brendan Gallagher, because I grew up watching him, and I'm friends with his brother, so...
Oh, okay. Nice. Right. And finally, would you like to say hi to anyone out there?
I'd like to give a shout-out to my good friend Mitch Newsom and Dylan McCann.
Awesome. So thanks again, Matt Bradley, for the interview, and awesome weekend for you.
Thank you.
Good luck the rest of the season.
Thank you.
That was Hawks forward Matt Bradley. You're listening to This Week in BC Minor League Sports on CJSF 90.1 FM, where we're recapping Week 20 action in the BC Major Midget League. Meanwhile, the Okanagan Rockets, who are tied for first place in the BC Major Midget League, took on the Greater Vancouver Canadians, who are tied for fourth. Both games took place in Kelowna at the Capital News Center, where the Rockets have not lost a game at all this season. And the Rockets came out blasting in the first period on Saturday, scoring 3 goals to open up a 3-0 lead. Brett Young, Liam Finley, and Tyson Joss scored in a 2:04 span early in the first period, and looked as though the Rockets would turn this into a rout. For Tyson Joss, it was his 29th goal in 31 games for the Rockets. But the Canadians recovered, and they did not allow another goal the rest of the game, believe it or not. Dante Hanoun scored for the Canadians in the second period to make it 3-1, and then Ryan Wilkinson scored early in the third period to cut the deficit to 3-2. But that would be all the scoring in this game. Final score on Saturday, the Okanagan Rockets 3, the Greater Vancouver Canadians 2. The Rockets ended a 2-game winless skid with the victory and improved to 28 wins, 5 losses, and 2 ties on the season. Now, with their 28th victory, they set a club record, surpassing the 27 wins that the 2006-2007 team had recorded. So congratulations to the Rockets on their team achievement. Then on Sunday morning, the Rockets made it 29 wins on the season, and Tyson Joss scored 3 more goals. Sunday's game was tied 1-1 until Joss scored his 30th of the season with 56 seconds remaining in the opening period. Dante Hanoun scored again for the Canadians midway through the second period to tie the game at 2-2. But Tyson Joss scored his second of the game with 7:58 left in the second period on a power play, putting Okanagan ahead 3-2. The Canadians tied it at 3 late in the second period, and the two teams skated off the ice in a 3-3 tie after 40 minutes. Now, Greater Vancouver actually surprised the Rockets by going ahead in the third period when Kyle Wee scored at 1:27 of the final stanza, and it was 4-3 for the Canadians. But just 3 minutes later, Tyson Joss scored his third of the game to complete the hat trick, his 32nd goal in 32 games, and it was suddenly 4-4. Then a minute and a half after that, Liam Finley scored his 16th goal of the season to put the Rockets ahead for good. Okanagan added 2 more goals and completed the weekend series sweep. Final score, the Okanagan Rockets 7, the Greater Vancouver Canadians 4 on Sunday. Now for Tyson Joss, 3 goals and 3 assists. So a 6-point afternoon, and congratulations to him as he now establishes a club record for most points in season. Joss now has 72 points, 1 more than Parker Bowles had in 2011-2012, and Joss has 4 more games to add to the record. So congratulations on a terrific season so far for Okanagan's Tyson Jost. Meanwhile, for the team, the Rockets improved to 18-0 at home as they are proving to be unbeatable at the Capital News Center in Kelowna. The Greater Vancouver Canadians, with the 2 losses on the weekend, remain tied for 4th place in the league with the Vancouver Northeast Chiefs. Now, time for a public service announcement, and then we'll be back for some more scores and updates from the BC Major Midget League right here on CJSF 90.1 FM. Now, on Saturday, March the 8th, 2014, Young Women in Business Simon Fraser University, also known as YWIB SFU, will be hosting a conference for the SFU community and the high school and post-secondary students of Greater Vancouver at Century Plaza Hotel in celebration of International Women's Day. Featuring inspirational guest speakers, a well-rounded panel, and an engaging expo, the conference is dedicated to encourage professional and personal growth. With the theme this year as Defying Success, their goal is to engage the community in the discussion of the various definitions of success, empowering each other to pursue their true passions. Now, I should mention that this is for females and males, as YWIB is welcoming males to attend as well. More details about this event. Again, it's happening on Saturday, March the 8th. The location is the Century Plaza Hotel at 1015 Burrard Street in downtown Vancouver. Again, that's 1015 Burrard Street. The time would be from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. And for ticket prices, for high school students, the price is $25, and that's if you get your ticket between now and March the 2nd. The ticket price for SFU students who are non-YWIB members is $35, provided you get your ticket by March the 2nd as well. And the general admission ticket price is $40 if you get your ticket by March 2nd, and that would be for students from other post-secondary institutions and for professionals, the general public. For more information, you can go to their website, which is www.ywib.ca/SFU. That's www.ywib.ca/SFU. And also on their website, you can get the latest updates regarding guest speakers, exhibitors, and other exciting new perks that they will be presenting in the future as well. Now, back to this week in BC Minor League Sports, and more scores from last weekend in the BC Major Midget League. The Vancouver Northwest Giants came into last weekend tied with the Okanagan Rockets for top spot in the league, with the Rockets winning both of their games at home against the Greater Vancouver Canadians. The Vancouver Northwest Giants needed to win in order to keep pace. And the Giants took on the struggling Kootenay Ice for a pair of games in Nelson, BC. And what do I mean by struggling? Well, Kootenay came into last weekend with a record of 5 wins, 24 losses, and 5 ties. And that is dead last in the league. Things didn't get much better with the Giants in town, because on Saturday, the Giants jumped out to a 5-0 lead by the midway point of the second period, as Colton Kerfoot, the league's leading scorer, got 2 goals for Vancouver Northwest. Mitchell Stapley, Nash Dabb, and Owen Stout also scored for the Giants. Evan Gorman scored for the Ice in the third period with 6:35 remaining. Final score, Vancouver Northwest 5, Kootenay 1. And then on Sunday morning, it was more of the same as the Giants proved to be too much for the Ice. Kootenay actually scored first this time, with Ross Armour putting the Ice on the scoreboard with 6:29 left in the first period. But the Giants tied it just a minute and 6 seconds later when Justin Zito scored his 24th goal of the season. In fact, the Giants then struck for the next 7 goals after the Ice opened the scoring, including 5 in the second period alone. Owen Stout had 3 goals for the Giants on the afternoon, and Vancouver Northwest went on to record a 10-2 victory over the Kootenay Ice. So 2 wins for the Giants as they keep pace with the Okanagan Rockets. Both teams are tied for first place, both the Giants and the Rockets, but if, of course, the Giants do not have the tiebreaker, the Rockets do, because the Rockets beat the Giants twice back in November, so Okanagan does have the tiebreaker should these 2 teams end up being tied for first place at the end of the season. Then Okanagan would clinch first place because of a better head-to-head record. Elsewhere, it was the Fraser Valley Thunderbirds sweeping a pair of games from the Thompson Blazers to improve their playoff positioning. The Thunderbirds won 9-2 on Saturday in chase over the Blazers, and then completed the sweep on Sunday with a 7-3 victory on against the Blazers, and this time in Kamloops. Nick Ponnick had 3 goals and 2 assists for the Thunderbirds in the Saturday game, and Dryden Downing had 2 goals and an assist for Fraser Valley in the Sunday contest. Now, the Thunderbirds have won 4 straight, including 2 wins over the last place Kootenay Ice the previous weekend, so definitely the Thunderbirds are winning the games that they should be winning against a couple of teams at the bottom of the standings. With 32 points in 36 games, Fraser Valley now has a 5-point lead over North Island for 7th place with only 4 games remaining. So it looks as though the Thunderbirds are going to make the playoffs. Finally, in the matchup between the Caribou Cougars and the North Island Silvertips, it was a sweep for the Cougars. Brian Alby's third period power play goal with less than 4 minutes remaining snapped a 2-2 tie and lifted Caribou to the 3-2 win over North Island in Port Alberni on Saturday. Chase Dubois had 2 goals for the Cougars to give them an early 2-0 lead, and Steven Jandrick had 2 assists as well for the Cougars. The Silvertips had 2 quick goals in the third period to tie it at 2-2, but it wasn't enough. Final score, Caribou 3, North Island 2 on Saturday. Then on Sunday, the Cougars defeated the Silvertips again for the sweep, this time by a score of 6-1, and to also clinch a playoff spot. So congratulations on the Caribou Cougars for clinching a playoff position. Jesse Roach and Steven Jandrick each scored twice as the Cougars climbed back to the 500 mark at 17 wins, 17 losses, and 2 ties on the season. So again, congratulations to Caribou for getting the playoff spot with the sweep over the Silvertips. Now for this weekend schedule, a couple of matchups happening in town in the Lower Mainland. Tonight at 4:45 p.m. I should say, the Greater Vancouver Canadians take on the Kootenay Ice at the Richmond Oval. Again, that's happening at 4:45. Then at 8:15 p.m. at the Hollyburn Country Club in West Vancouver, it's the Vancouver Northwest Giants taking on the Thompson Blazers. All of the other games tonight are in Abbotsford, Prince George, and Nanaimo. Then on Sunday at 10 a.m. is the Kootenay Ice facing the Greater Vancouver Canadians at the Richmond Oval. Again on Sunday at 10:30 a.m. we have the Giants and the Blazers again at the Hollyburn Country Club in West Van. And at 11:45 a.m. the Fraser Valley Thunderbirds take on the Vancouver Northeast Chiefs at the Planet Ice in Coquitlam. So quite a few games to check out this weekend. And the other games on Sunday will be taking place in Prince George and in Victoria. But definitely, a few good matchups to check out, especially with the Giants playing in West Van this weekend, and also the Greater Vancouver Canadians taking on Kootenay and Richmond for both of their games on the weekend as well. And if you're out in the Coquitlam area, of course, on Sunday there is the game between the Chiefs and the Thunderbirds on Sunday morning. Now, for a complete listing of the games this weekend, you can check out the league's website at www.bcmml.net. That's www.bcmml.net. Now, let's take a look at the standings. As mentioned earlier, the Okanagan Rockets and the Vancouver Northwest Giants are both tied for first place, but the Rockets do have the tiebreaker by winning 2 games against the Giants back in November. So the Rockets have 29 wins, 5 losses, 2 ties in 36 games. That's good for 60 points. The Vancouver Northwest Giants have the exact identical record as the Rockets. So also with 29 wins, 5 losses, and 2 ties in 36 games. And again, that's 60 points. So both the Rockets and the Giants are tied atop the league standings. In third place, we have the Valley West Hawks. They have 25 wins, 11 losses, and 2 ties. They have a bye week this weekend, and they've already clinched third place, so congratulations to the Valley West Hawks on that. Fourth place is still a battle between the Greater Vancouver Canadians and the Vancouver Northeast Chiefs. Of course, both of these 2 teams lost both of their games last weekend, so for the Greater Vancouver Canadians, 18 wins, 18 losses, and 2 ties. They have 38 points in 38 games. For the Vancouver Northeast Chiefs, They do have 2 games in hand because they've only played 36 games. They have a record of 17 wins, 15 losses, and 4 ties, good for 38 points. Then in 6th place, the Caribou Cougars have a record of 17 wins, 17 losses, and 2 ties, 36 points in 36 games. And as mentioned, the Cougars have clinched a playoff spot. So they're in 6th place right now, but of course they can climb all the way up to 4th if both the Canadians and the Chiefs falter. Then in 7th place, we have the Fraser Valley Thunderbirds, who have won 4 straight games. They have a record of 14 wins, 18 losses, and 4 ties, 32 points in 36 games. The 8th place North Island Silvertips have a record of 11 wins, 20 defeats, and 5 ties. They have 27 points in 36 games. Now, in 9th place, the South Island Royals are still alive in the playoff chase. They are only 1 point back of the Silvertips, so 1 point out of 8th place. So the Royals have 11 wins, 21 losses, and 4 ties for 26 points in 36 games. And of course, they have 4 more games remaining to try and make the playoffs. In 10th place, the Thompson Blazers have already been eliminated. They have 5 wins, 25 losses, and 6 ties for 16 points in 36 games. And in last place, the Kootenay Ice have a record of 5 wins, 26 losses, and 5 ties, good for 15 points in 36 games. So there's a battle for last place, if you will, between the Blazers and the Ice, with the Blazers having a 1 point lead over Kootenay for that 10th spot, if you will. And one final piece of announcement here. The SFU men's hockey team defeated the University of Victoria 5-4 last Saturday at the Bill Copeland Sports Center in their final regular season home game of the year. They played at Eastern Washington last night and will take on Selkirk College in Castlegar this evening. The Clan will then wrap up their regular season playing against UVic in Victoria on Friday the 28th. The SFU Clan, of course, have secured home ice advantage for the first round of the BC Intercollegiate Hockey League playoffs, and tickets are on sale for the first playoff game, and that's happening on Friday, March 7th at 7 p.m. at the Bill Copeland Sports Center. Tickets for that first playoff game are available at www.burnabymountain.com. Sorry, let's try it again. It's www.burnabymountainhockey.com/tickets.html. Again, the tickets are available at www.burnabymountainhockey.com/tickets.html. That's going to do it for this week's program, and we'll be back 1 week from now for the next show. In the meantime, get out to Richmond, West Vancouver, or Coquitlam to enjoy some good competitive BC Major Midget hockey this weekend. We'll talk to you again next time.